Yo, what's up guys? Everyone, today we'll be talking about some NBA breaking news because according to Shams Charania, the Denver Nuggets have fired head coach Michael Malone, aka Mike Malone. Now, if you're like me, just like this Taylor Jenkins news, I was shell-shocked. I was a loss for words. I was like, what? Is this a real tweet? But it is indeed a real tweet. The Denver Nuggets have fired Mike Malone, who is 2 years removed from winning an NBA championship over my Miami Heat 4-1. And now, a couple years later, with 3 games remaining in the regular season, he is out as head coach of the Denver Nuggets. Now, I went into, looking under the hood and see what was going on with the Denver Nuggets. And it's really, I think, 2 things. Before I get into the second thing, let's start off with the first thing. So Shams had also tweeted out that the new interim head coach for the Denver Nuggets is going to be David Adelman. Now, David Adelman is the son of obviously former NBA coach Rick Adelman. So if you connect the dots, I mean, that makes sense. Kind of like the Grizzlies, they just wanted to give their assistant coach the keys for right now and see what he could do in the playoff series. And if he's the guy, cool. If not, you have the whole entire offseason to see if you can find your head coach. Now, Mike Malone isn't the only person that got fired today from the Denver Nuggets. It was also general manager Calvin Booth, which makes a lot of sense. Calvin Booth did absolutely nothing in the free agency. He did nothing at the trade deadline. He's just, honestly, I'm being blunt, he's one of the most competent GMs in the NBA. Let KCP and Bruce Brown walk and just didn't do anything, and we're on year how much of looking for a competent center behind Nikola Jokic. I mean, he got Toronto home to like out of Dame, but he popped his Achilles and he gave Zeke Naji that contract. A lot of people have been complaining about the Michael Porter Jr. contract and how much money he is making. Also the Jamal Murray contract as well. Those are 2, in my opinion, still really good players, but maybe, I guess, they shouldn't have gotten the full extent of their deals. But again, that's just splitting hairs at the end of the day. All right, so let's talk about why Mike Malone was fired. So Mike Malone is a defensive-minded head coach, and his defense over his last 15-game stretch has been absolutely abysmal. His team over his last 15 games has a defensive rating of 118.8, which would be the worst in the NBA. And overall, they're 20th at 115.1. A lot of like the Peyton Watsons, the Christian Browns of the world, just carrying the heavy load for the Denver Nuggets. Obviously, they don't have KCP or Bruce Brown, 2 of their better defenders on a championship level team. The Denver Nuggets in their last 15 games have given up 127 in a win against the Thunder, 115 in a loss against the Timberwolves, 126 in a W against the Lakers, 126 in a loss against the Wizards, 105 in a W against the Warriors, 120 in a loss against the Lakers, 128 in a loss against the Blazers, 111 in a W against the Rockets, 129 in a loss against the Bulls, 117 in a win against the Bucks, 93 in a W against the Jazz, 140 in a loss against the Timberwolves, 113 in a loss against the Spurs without Wemby and De'Aaron Fox. In the Lakers game previously that they won was a good amount of starters as well. That was literally Markieff Morris getting clutch time minutes type of minutes. And Bronny, yee. 118 in a loss against the Warriors, 125 in their recent loss against the Pacers, and they play a game tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. So, they've lost 4 in a row. The defense is brutal. The defense has been absolutely brutal. Just abysmal. God-awful. PU. That shit stinks.
It was a brutally honest message. And the guys that are fully won't hear it. They'll say coach is tripping. And the guys that maybe do really care will, because they're not going to go back and watch their minutes, because nobody watches their minutes. Nobody watches film. So we'll have to show them the film. And
they're also 3-7 in their last 10 games, but the offense has rated out really well. They have the 3rd best offensive rating in the last 15 games, even though they are 6-9 with an offensive rating of 118.8. Overall, they still have one of the best offenses in basketball with the offensive rating of 118.7. They also, I believe, are the best shooting team in the sport. So offensive wise, they have it. Defensively, they just have been disappointing all season. They've also dealt with their fair share of injuries this season as well. A lot of it has come from Aaron Gordon, who has missed 31 games, Jamal Murray, who's missed 14 games, and even the probably second in line for MVP this season, Nikola Jokic, has also missed 12 games as well. But on the flip side, you also have really good seasons from the likes of a guy like a Christian Brown, who right now would be easily in my top 3 for most improved player. The player that he's turned into, just becoming a way better player this season than Kentavious Caldwell-Pope has been for the Orlando Magic, hitting his 3-point shots, defending, getting to the rim, just been an all-around really good player. And it just sucks for the Nuggets because they're just having one of the greatest seasons in recent memory for a particular player, Nikola Jokic, who's giving them 30, damn near 13 and 10 on 66.3% true shooting, 41.5% from 3, and a plus minus per game of 8.1, which is in the 99th percentile. So he's just been absolutely absurd. I did a quiz yesterday naming every single major stat from every team. Jokic took up like 80% of that. Only thing was, it was like steals and blocks and 3-point percentage. Outside of that, it was yeah. And there are also a couple of quotes as well as I'm looking through them. A couple of quotes from Chris Haynes. So the first one was the statement from Denver Nuggets owner Josh Kroenke, and he had to say this: while the timing of this decision is unfortunate, as Coach Malone helped build the foundation of our now championship level program, it is a necessary step to allow us to compete at the highest level right now. Championship level standards and expectations remain in place for the current season, and as we look to the future, we look forward to building on the foundations laid by Coach Malone over his record-breaking 10th-year career in Denver. And also I saw too from Shams that Mike Malone is the winningest coach in Denver Nuggets history, and his firing ties Hubie Brown as the latest firing in an NBA season. So yeah, just absolutely absurd. Now, the last one I did want to get into was, let's just get into it. Denver Nuggets. Denver Nuggets and Calvin Booth failed to reach terms on an extension that both parties felt was satisfactory before the 2024-2025 season got underway, sources tell me. Booth, instrumental in helping the franchise capture a title, was on an expiring contract. Yo, Calvin Booth, my brother in Christ, with all due respect, you didn't deserve that contract extension, baby. Come on now. Yo, Nuggets. Blessing in disguise, not gonna lie. Blessing in disguise, bro. Calvin Booth, what did this man do in the free agency? What did this man do at the trade deadline? Not a damn thing. And he gave Zeke Naji 4 years, $32 million. Now, Calvin Booth was named the general manager of the Nuggets July of 2020. Let's just take a look at Calvin Booth's draft picks with the Denver Nuggets since 2020. Zeke Naji gave him a 4-year deal with $32 million. Definitely has not worked out. Bones Highland, Bones Highland's an interesting player. He had a decent role for a little bit, and now he just finds himself on a 2-way contract currently, I believe, with the Atlanta Hawks. Christian Brown, phenomenal pick. Maxwell Lewis, he went traded from initially being drafted to the Lakers to being traded in the DFS trade to the Brooklyn Nets. And then you drafted Ryan Dunn, but then you traded him to the Phoenix Suns. So Christian Brown hit. Other than that, you traded a couple of guys that you drafted with those picks. So, I mean, verdict's still out on DeRon Holmes. I do like DeRon Holmes out of day in the center. I think he'd be a good backup behind Jokic, but praying he recovers from that torn Achilles. But Calvin Booth, brother, you know you had that coming. You know you had that coming. But yeah. But other than that, y'all, that is the video. Make sure to go down below, drop a like, comment down below. Nuggets fans, how do you guys feel about this? I know you guys probably are excited over Calvin Booth, but Mike Malone? That's tough. I was reading through some comments of some Nuggets fans. A lot of people are perplexed that Mike Malone's gone. They're on cloud nine that Calvin Booth is gone, but damn, that's insane. Taylor Jenkins and Mike Malone. Wild. absolutely wild. But yeah. So, but make sure to follow me on Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok. And your boy John. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video, and I'm out, man. Peace.